Hey everyone, welcome to this video on the EZkeys Cinematic Pads. I just want to say this was the first time I actually used EZkeys, well, any of their products really. I was very surprised at how easy it was to sort of understand and use and to get something that sounds really, really good. So yeah, I hope you guys have as much fun using it as I did. Enjoy the video. If you didn't know, this one's a hybrid instrument, so it uses 17 different types of instruments. There's analog synths in there, modular synths, there's a reversed acoustic piano and a bowed electric guitar as well. And that creates 70 presets. And these all range from atmosphere, bells, fat pads, modulated, saturated, and strings. As you can see, there are quite a lot to choose from. In this video, I'm just going to show you how to use the plugin a little bit and just have a little bit of fun with it and some of the features that you may or may not know. So first things first, you can set up your Midi keyboard with it, or you can click the keys like so, which is pretty cool because if you haven't got access to a Midi keyboard, being able to sort of press these is quite useful. As you can see, there's dynamics and tuning here. These little sections, so dynamics is essentially how hard or soft a note is to be played. And you can choose to have it obviously all the way up to 126 and 27, or where I like it is the full range, so you can get a nice emotional feel on your pads. That's just how I like to use pads. Obviously there's some other things in here like bells and stuff, so you can use it for whatever you want, but that's what I would use this for anyway. Obviously the tuning section here, if you want things slightly slightly out of tune or off key, sorry, this is a really good way to do it. Let's just put that to 20. Just adds a little bit of flavor to it that you might not be able to get on something else, but it's nice to have it within the actual plugin itself, so you don't have to have anything extra on, you don't have to change anything within your DAW. You can just use it in here, which is lovely. So the next thing I want to draw your attention to is this bottom left section here. These are all your modulation and effects sort of pots. As you can see, it's attack, release, high pass filter, low pass filter, and ambience. And then some of them have this sixth one, some of them don't, as you will see when I go to this one. This one only has 5. These are all unique effects to certain presets, not all of them. So if I go to, I believe it was this one here, constant parallax. So this one was pan speed. The constant parallax one is sequence. And I do believe there is one on here, yep, dark noise wah, that is wah speed. Obviously, I think we all know what wah means. I'll just show you if you are curious. Lovely. So yeah, when you're choosing whatever sort of preset you want, you may have this little thing here. If you don't, not to worry. The sounds on this are pretty spectacular. One of the reasons it has a high pass filter and low pass filter is because some of the presets use sort of layers and layers and layers of these instruments, but not just the instruments themselves, but they're in different octaves as well. So you've got a lot of noise coming through and added sort of white noise and pink noise to replicate what would happen with analog and modular synthesizers. So if you've got a track which is almost complete, or maybe you're halfway through, it's really useful to use these sort of things here just to shave away some of the frequencies that you don't want added to your mix, but you want the instrument, or you want the the atmosphere that this sort of brings to your track without adding anything else to your track by, you know, ruining it, adding the color that you don't need, um, things like that. So it is very useful. So I will just sort of play a note or a chord and just sort of play around with these little things, and you'll see what I mean. So right there you can hear some of that white noise come through. There we go. It's a much more sort of, it's a cleaner sound when you just adjust those sort of pots here. You can also adjust attack and release as well. And this ambience pot here, the best way I can describe it is it adds all that extra color to your preset. I'll just play a note and I'll let you decide. I think it adds that nice bit of color. It really brings out all of the instruments together. It does make the note last longer as well, so do be careful with it. Say you want it to cut off quite quickly. If you have it all the way up to 100%, it can create the note to be a bit too long, in my opinion. But it depends what you want to use it for. So again, you know, use your creativity as your basis for what you want to use it for. Okay. And it just sort of adds that that color, that resonance onto the end of the note, which can be a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing. So do be careful with that one. Next is this little button here, the browser button. So if we click on this, it comes up with all your libraries and stuff. I'm going to choose EZkeys Midi because you can use Midi within this here. So if we go to that one, let's go for verse variation 3. Let's chuck that in there. And then change to yeah, let's try that. See what that sounds like. Pretty cool. Let's just adjust some of these things a little bit. So you see, just by adjusting a few things here a little bit, it just sort of brings out that sound that you want. Obviously, if you want to put this into your mix and you want to get rid of all that low end or all that high end, just use these two here just to shave off the frequencies that you don't want. There are tons and tons of different chord progressions. There's even single chords, rhythmical chords, broken chords, and the beauty of it is if I hover over these, you can see I can actually click on them, and you can change it to, let's see, there we go. So you can really get down and edit and customize all these chords into pretty much however you want, really. So in a way, it's kind of like a chord progression plugin at the same time as being an actual instrument, which can be really useful. Okay, so on top of this browser section here, you also have this little button on the left-hand side. Because you can just sort of use this as you would in the DAW, just sort of this section here. It works the same way. If you press this button here, you get a chord sort of appear out of nowhere, and you can lengthen it and you can change it. There's all sorts of inversions that you can do. You can change the actual note itself. Which is cool. But on top of that, say you really like this pattern, don't really like it in C major. All you need to do is come down to this part here and just choose, you know, maybe you want it in D major or D minor. And then you go back to the start here. And it's as easy as that. It really does work. And what you can also do, say you're happy with this, you can just click and drag it onto your DAW, press space. And you're ready to go. Okay, so this is just something that I've sort of come up with. So the first part, bit of pads here. This was just using the browser. As you can see, it's rhythmical chords, quarter notes, variation 4. And then all I did was set it to F minor. So that's what this is. And then all I did was just drag that in and put it there like that. And then this section here, this one, this one's slightly different. This is just some Midi that I already had. So I just dragged it in from Loop Cloud and then put it in here and used Rift in Space, edited it a little bit. So release and attack slightly down, high pass filter on, and I reduced the LFO speed as well because it's a bit too fast. And then for the bass here, as you can see, it's a SubBoomBass by Rob Pappen, and it sounds pretty cool. And again, this is just a little bit of Midi that I already had from another track, so I just chucked that in there just to show you guys sort of, you know, what it'd sound like. So yeah,